Let me bang, I man. Do let you bang. Hey, let me bang you, Caitlyn, man. I let you bang. I let you bang. Greetings, nerds and virgins.
Go for Jeezy. No for Jeezy, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Hey, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with Greg Romero-Wilson and Weendawg. We got Don Frye. He's in his barn right now. So he's running late. And McCorkle's coming on. We got Kyler Phillips, who's coming off a huge win. We got a good show. And life is good. I had over the weekend, I went to Tom Galicchio's wedding, Toothless Tom's wedding in Las Vegas. My wife and I, we took a day to actually just have like a little mini vacation, like a day vacation. So we drove to the wedding. We saw Hendo was there. That was pretty badass. And
the legend.
I was wondering if Tom was going to have his tooth in. He didn't have his tooth in. He said he actually he took a tooth from his back. He had a cap and ripped it out and tried to put it in the front, but it wouldn't stick. So that
I can't believe that. That usually works. That is a time-honored technique of pulling a piece of dental work from the back of your mouth and moving it. That works every time. This is amazing that it didn't work.
So then that was that. And then I saw, and then it was.
By the way, it also works with cars. No, this is true. If like a hose busts in the front, you can take a piece of tailpipe and just shove it right in there, and you're good to go. Everybody knows this is common knowledge.
Tire off. I put the tire as a steering wheel. I just try to drive.
Absolutely, yes. These are all time-honored techniques.
So that was that, and then it was actually a lot of fun. It was great seeing Tom, but his wife, his beautiful wife, actually forgot the ring during the wedding when it was time to put the ring on Tom. So they had to use someone who in like the crowd and take their ring and put it on Tom. Like they forgot the wedding ring.
The one thing you're not really supposed to forget, kind of the most important thing, like about the wedding,
We're off to a spectacular start.
But the only thing worse was, actually my stepmom married my dad. I was so angry that my mom left because it was done so wrong. I was 3 years old. My mother went just like missing and then ended up got checked into a mental hospital, left. But before that, my dad got remarried and they said, "Here's your new mom." Didn't even tell me what happened to my old mom. They just said it's almost like one of those it was like that movie The Room where they just replace somebody with someone else but don't even say who it is or why. That basically is what happened with my family. So I was the ring guy, and I didn't like my stepmom at all. We got along much better later on in life before she passed away. But I was walking down the aisle with the ring, and I was supposed to hand it to her, and I threw it at her head, a 3-year-old. And then I got I started crying. I got spanked, and they sent me away with my cousin. So that was the start to our the new marriage. Yeah, it didn't go very well. So that but I was 3.
Was this the 70s or 80s?
This was 1981.
It's wild times, the 80s. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, man.
I wasn't on cocaine, but okay. How was your weekend? How was your weekend?
Which one are you talking to?
Yeah, who are you talking to? Usually you say the name of the person that you're addressing because we can't tell via this medium. There's no eye contact.
Either of you.
Go ahead, Greg.
Go ahead, Joe, please.
Oh, I'll go. Let's just cut through the awkwardness. I lost a bunch of money betting on the UFC fights. It's not pleasant, and a bunch of money. By a bunch of money, I mean $50, which is everything I had in my online bank account. It sucks because I think the best thing to do is bet on like the earliest fights. And then just, if you win, just don't make any more bets. My problem is I bet on the early fights, like 2 fights. They both won. I was positive, but then I got like in this like positive feeling, like I'm going to keep betting on each fight. You know, I'm on a roll right now. And each bet I put in after those first initial wins kept losing and losing and losing. And I ended up just losing all my money. I put a lot of money on Caitlyn Kagan. I put a lot of money on Korean Zombie. And it's just, it's bad now. So I learned my lesson. I'm not going to do that no more.
Hey, Greg, how was your weekend? Greg?
Well, you know, that's what they're counting on, man. It becomes easy come, easy go. Yeah. They're expecting you to take that money and just spend it right back. And that's why the house always wins, man. Yeah. I mean, and I understand the vibe. I'm with you because it's free money. You know what I mean? Like, you're up. Let's double up again. So that is the danger. I'm with you, buddy. I totally get that. You know,
it sucks so bad.
You know, for me, it was a pretty quiet. I mean, just watching all my picks be wrong in the UFC was pretty much my Saturday. And then, you know, Sunday was great. You know, Sunday football Sunday. I love that day. But then watching my Cowboys get absolutely butt fucked up one side of the field and down the other last night. And then you know, you wouldn't even know that the World Series started tonight.
Yeah.
From watching sports programming this morning. Apparently, the only thing that happened is the Cowboys hit a dick. That was the only thing that happened, and everybody had to talk about it ad nauseum. I'm like, isn't the World Series starting tonight? Can we talk about that for a minute, guys? Because this really hurts.
Well, Joe, I got you beat with that because I one time I had like a 11-fight parlay. I think it was the one with Miesha Tate, Holly Holm, and Nate Diaz. That one where Nate beat Connor and Miesha beat Holly. And I had like 11 in a row, but I lost my first one. And I had the next 10. So it was like I would have won like $7,000 off like a $50 bet. So at that point, I'm rooting for every one of my bets to lose. Yeah. So I don't feel like a complete fucking asshole. And they kept winning. So now
of course they all came in. Of course.
And now I'm like, I'm losing twice. I've lost the first one, and I'm losing on the bets that I actually won. It was just terrible.
And it makes you think, like, man, that UFC card sucked. That was like the worst one in a long time.
I'm there. Yeah, right. So, Greg, how was your weekend, though? So,
and here, it does bring up a question, though. What do you think is worse? To have one part of a parlay get broken down immediately in the beginning, the whole thing's ruined, you know it's ruined, or to have it win all the way to the end, and you get all that hope up, and then it falls apart on the last one. Which do you think is worse?
For someone like me, the first one is worse because I can't just drop it and let it go. Like the whole event's ruined. So at least on the second one, I'll at least enjoy all the way up to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. You feel like a champ the whole ride. I'm with you. The worst is when that first one blows it up and it's like, well, this is a waste of fucking time, you know? Yeah. Like, that's money lost already. I definitely would rather ride that feeling of victory to the, you know, until the last one and then disappointment than to just see the money wasted right off the bat because the first one just blew it up for you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, 100%. So let's talk about some of the fights that happened, okay? Ortega versus the Korean Zombie, which is always great when our co-host comes 20 minutes late. We're going to have to recap this all over again. And our guest doesn't show up for noon. Always a good time, but fuck it. The Korean Zombie is that guy who wins every fight I think he's going to lose and loses the ones I think he's going to win. He's that guy. He's there. It's like I thought Frankie Edgar was going to run through him. I'm like, he's not going to be able to stop Frankie's takedown defense. Frankie's going to take him down and beat him up. It's like he did the Cub Swanson. And he just fucking obliterated Frankie Edgar. Now with Ortega, I didn't know, but I just figured the way he looked against Frankie Edgar, he's going to just do the same to Ortega. And I thought Ortega's stand-up wasn't that good. Man, was I wrong. I think Ortega super improved. I mean, he was doing video game moves. At one point, that backwards elbow, I mean, the Zombie said he didn't know where he was the last 3 hours. At a certain point, he was trying to catch Pokemon. That's how lost this dude was. And by the way, I think that Ortega's hair was shoved in his cup. Because, did you see his cup?
That was weird. And he kept adjusting it, too. I felt like it went from the bottom to the top. Now he here. Like, I was like, where are your balls, man? Did your balls move above your dick? What is going on?
I feel like he couldn't find his cup, and like Ngannou was in the back. and he was like, "Hey, can I borrow your cup?" And then Francis just gave him his cup. I mean, because what he had to have known that either he has the biggest dick in the history of MMA, which is probably understands why he gets Holly Berry and the other people.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Women will discuss that amongst women. Like, you think guys are pigs? Like, there are girls that are like, they're called size queens. And they have like an underground where they'll tell other size queens, hey, by the way, this guy's got a huge dick. And they'll like even just like tell them that. And even if they hate them.
Not even size queens. They just all discuss. Here's the thing. Can I tell a quick story? Little quick one. When I was in high school, okay, I got called to the counselor's office, and she's like, Greg, you need another PE credit to graduate. I was like, I thought it was done. I thought I'd finished everything. It was like a junior in high school. I thought I was done with it. And she was like, no, you need one more. I can take you out of this class and put you into body mechanics and dance. I'm like, what the fuck is body mechanics and dance? I get there. I was like, do guys even take that? She's like, oh, yeah, sure. I get there. It's 31 girls in leotard and me.
Wow.
Okay. And I was like, and the coach was like, I'm like, what? And even the girls were like, what the fuck is he doing here? So the coach was like, you know what, Greg, just go to the back of the class and just, try and follow along and see if you can get comfortable. So,
is there video of this anywhere, by the way?
What's that?
Is there any video of this?
No, come on. This is from like the 80s. So I go back there. So on day 3, the coach, so immediately it's like 31 bent over high school girls in leotard and me. And so on day 3, the coach is like, Greg, I found someone in tennis who wants to switch in here, who's a girl, if you want to switch to tennis. And I was like, nah, I think I'll stick it out. And this is no joke. So for the entire semester, it was me and 31 girls. And that is where I learned that girls are as nasty as men when we're not around. They talk about everything, dick size.
Dude, they're worse.
How it fit in their mouth, everything. They discuss everything all the time. They're fucking liars, man.
Dude, I know that from my stripping days, okay? My alleged stripping days. When girls get together, they literally would like just go grab your cock. I mean, literally just grab it and tell the other one to grab it and smack you in the ass and do all kinds of stuff because
these are strippers, though, and I think that's an important caveat.
They're power in numbers, but also they assume that guys enjoy this, which we do for the most part. But if a dude was like smacking a girl's ass, which some guys do, don't get me wrong, but it would be like, yo, back the fuck up. There are bouncers for that. There's literally they come with bouncers who are like, you touch this girl, I'm throwing you out. Where girls are just like, I mean, holy shit. But I'm not complaining. So anyway, so Jessica Andraj versus Caitlyn Kagan. I thought Caitlyn was looking pretty good until she got hit in the rib. I mean, she was lost the first round, but it was competitive, I thought. I thought she was actually doing pretty well until she wasn't. And I think that Jessica Andraj, it's one of those things where she's one of these girls. It's like, I'm not going to compare her to Anthony Rumble Johnson, but she has that she has that power factor that if you don't fight a perfect fight against her, she's always dangerous. I mean, Rose Namajunas like retired for like a year and a half after getting body hit on her head by that. And everybody was like, take your fucking time. Like this other girl got hit in the fucking rib. Like I fell down. She just has that power that many women don't have in MMA. They're like, the Cyborg has it, Nunez has it, she has it. Certain girls have that. If you have that certain power, you're going to do very well because it's a big disparity between that kind of power and the power that most girls in your division have.
Yeah. It sucks. I bought into the hype about Caitlyn Kagan in this fight because she's a foot taller than Jessica Andraj. I thought she was going to just do what she normally does and just point fight, stay on the outside, do her karate stuff, and maybe get a submission because Caitlyn is very good. She comes out of John Danaher's camp. But, dude, I was completely wrong about that fight, and my bank account shows it.
Well, I was thinking the same thing you were thinking. I was like, Jessica's going up a weight division, which she's already small. She's already a small gal going up a weight division against a tall gal for her division already. So for me, that whole that distance, I thought she'd be able to take her. What I didn't account for, what scared me immediately in the pre-fight was when they were like, this allowed her to focus on her strength. And then they show her, and her arms were huge. And I was like, uh-oh. this is a lot of power for the women's division.
Well, she also started at 135, though. She came down to 115 from 35 because there was no 25 division. So it wasn't like she just like
that power, that arm strength though, and you could see there was a moment the second she got the kick in on the legs, she was like, "Okay, this girl can't hurt me, and now I have my entry point to get in there and hurt her." And you could see a little smile cross her face when she got her with the kick. It was like, "I got you now." And right then I knew it. I was like, "This fight's over. This fight's she's about to hurt this girl."
Don Frye, did you watch the fights last weekend?
No, partner, I didn't. I did not. I did something better. I went down to one of the Trident restaurants. It's about 4 of them called Trident Bar and Grill, and they're owned by former Navy SEALs. And I ended up going in there and meeting Robert O'Neill. He's a guy who whacked Osama bin Laden. So I met him and 5 or 6 other boys.
Didn't you do that last week too?
What's that?
You did that the week before also, though.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, call for it this time.
Did you sleep through the weekend?
Did this really happen, or did you watch a video of somebody doing it? Did you watch a video?
My notes mixed up here.
That's okay. Now, by the way, Frye, I went to a wedding with Dan Henderson over the weekend. He says that you and Pat Miletich and somebody else went overseas to the troops to show the troops fighting moves and did like an overseas tour. What was that like? You, Hendo, and Miletich.
That was kind of different. That's the only time in my life that whole year I missed 2 airplanes. The only time in my whole life I missed any airplanes because they were doing construction on the interstate here in Tucson. So I didn't time it right. So I ended up being late. And by the time I got there, Henderson and Miletich had buddied up like a couple of high school cheerleaders. So it was them against me the whole tour.
No, listen, Hendo says he likes you a lot. He says he's got nothing but respect for you and that he thinks you're awesome. But you made a video saying he was a dickhead. Like so he says he loves you. He says he says you're a great guy.
I said asshole. I called him an asshole.
Sorry. Let's get that right. Yes.
Hey, if you got to be a fucking asshole to be a good fighter, you know? Otherwise, it doesn't work.
But he says he liked you.
You got to be able to cut it off.
Yeah. He said you were
I
a
like
legend.
him too. I respect him.
Okay, but how was that? But what was Afghanistan like?
It was pretty neat. We got there to Bahrain. No shit, I get this mixed up. Fuck me. Hell, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the base. Bagram. I think it's Bagram Air Base. Okay. And they took us out to FOB Phoenix, forward operating base by flying helicopters, some Apaches. That was cooler than shit.
Yeah. Now, did you actually train any of the soldiers?
We got at Bagram, but not at FOB Phoenix. We got out there to Phoenix, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't have this or that, and they says, I said, I told him, I'm sorry, I'm not that big of a name. And they said, that's okay. We're just happy somebody remembered us.
Yeah, no, I've done like 10 of those tours, man. And they are so grateful. Those are the best. That's where I'm like, man, I'm so happy I'm a comedian. I feel like I'm actually doing something good for the world. When that happens. All right.
Hey, what? I go every week. If I go every week, I'd go. You know?
Yeah, me too. Now, do you think, by the way, Greg and Weendawg, people were saying that the fight was stopped too early with Kagan and Jessica Andraj. What do you guys think?
No way, dude.
Not even. Oh my God, that was a mercy. She was practically tapping the ground out. I mean,
when you turn away from your opponent and scream, I think the fight should just be stopped then. You know what I'm saying? She turned away and she screamed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was a liver shot. I've never been hit in the liver. I mean, people say it's the most painful fucking thing in the world. Boxers say that. Fighters say that. Don, you ever get hit in the liver?
No, but I've hit people in the liver, and I tell you what, they scream. They scream. I'll tell you what, the next time we meet, I'll give you a present.
Greg Frye, have you ever been hit in the liver?
Of course, are you kidding me? I loved it. I love to not only hit them in the liver, I like to then eat it. A lot of good iron in that liver. So that's what I do. I punch it out of their body, and then I enjoy it with some, usually some carrots, some glazed carrots.
By the way, Don, I talked to Chael Sonnen today, and he's putting together the next Submission Underground. He wants to know if you will wrestle Tank Abbott in a wheelchair match. Are you interested? It's never been done before. I think Tank's in a wheelchair. I don't know. I think you're in a wheelchair. What do you say?
No, I'm walking now.
Okay.
I went out with my bulldog for dinner last week, and when I got home, the wheelchair was gone. It fell out of the back of my truck somewhere. So now I'm forced to walk. It's the best thing for me.
Would you wrestle?
I got no excuses.
Would you wrestle in the next Submission Underground event hosted by Chael Sonnen?
You know what? He'll have to give me a call and give me a personal invitation. I want to hear what rules we don't have.
Sounds like someone's bringing some sand in his pocket.
All right. Speaking of wrestling, Jung Park fought John Phillips. This dude had zero takedown defense. I mean, like George Zimmerman had better takedown defense. This guy, he got taken down by a guy that literally was not even like a wrestler. This dude just learned how do you make it to the highest level of competition and not be able to defend the takedown.
You've been waiting 10 years. You've been waiting 10 years to use that line, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. But how do you get to that point and not know how to? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Just knocking people out every fight, I guess, right?
But it's like making it to the World Series and you can't hit a curveball. Like it's going to be thrown at you if you can't. I mean, does it? Is this just an off day? Don, talk to me about this.
Man, I tell you what, it really just amazes me how some of the lack of advancement this sport has made in 25 years, whatever it's been. I mean, some people still only practice one style. And you got to practice the whole thing. It's mixed martial arts. It's not stand-up kickboxing, or just wrestling. You got to get it all. And some people still make the mistake of only having one weapon in their arsenal.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't get it. Even if you're not good at wrestling, which a lot of guys are not good at wrestling, still know how to defend it. Look, when I trained Dan Hardy, man, Dan Hardy was my wrestling partner for the GSP fight. He gave me a shout out on some TV show. Dan Hardy.
Well, you were the 8th grade champ.
Dan Hardy was not a wrestler. I mean, literally had no wrestling. No, but he would find the best guy at the gym, who at that time in wrestling, I wasn't the best. I was the best guy in that class. There were obviously better people at Legends than me at wrestling. And he'd be like, we're going together. He had no jiu-jitsu. He would find the black belt. And this is when he was a blue belt and roll with that guy. He was a guy that knew what he needed to work at. And it amazes me. To me, yeah, of course your ego is going to get shot. And you're going to get taken down, but that's how you get better. You have to do that at that level. It's like your job. I mean, it's your job. But you look, I mean, the guy's won 15, 20 fights. Obviously, he's doing something right. But
well, you know what's interesting about that fight is John Phillips. He fought Khamzat Chimaev, and that was a fight when Khamzat like took him down and did pretty much the same thing that this other dude did, but just more vicious. And we were like, oh my god, this Chimaev guy is insane. He has insane ground and pound. It's very Khabib-esque. But do you think this fight, like showing how easy and how bad John Phillips his wrestling defense is, does that take away sort of the flair from Khamzat Chimaev?
To me, a little bit. I mean, the thing about Chimaev is I'm still not sold on him because I understand how good he – look, he obviously was an Olympian for Sweden in wrestling, which is awesome, and he's obviously undefeated, and he's that. But he has not been tested yet. He really hasn't. The one test he had last time against Mearshart, he knocked him out in 13 seconds, right? Great. I mean, that was pretty awesome. But he hasn't been in a fight where he's been down yet. And it kind of like that kid Edmund Shabayan a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody was so high on him. Well, now we'll see. I mean, so we don't really know how – it's easy to be good when you're 12-0 and 13-0, but most of the guys you fought are not world beaters or even at that level. So until he beats a Derek Brunson and even that, I'm not 100% sold on him.
It's weird because he was also sitting with Dana for like the entire show, dude.
He tweeted out recently, Dana, I want to fight 3 guys in one night. He wants to do Don Frye style. But I want to see him we don't know if he can take a punch yet. He's literally never been punched in the face yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Brock Lesnar was looking like a fucking world beater until, somebody punched him in the face and all of a sudden he did not take a punch very well. We'll see. We will see. I know people are going to say I'm not hating. I'm just saying that everybody is very quick to jump on the next big thing and then all of a sudden to jump off that guy as soon as he loses, which actually is why I was so impressed with Brian Ortega, because now everyone's back on the Ortega train. But everybody was off the Ortega train when he got beat by Max Holloway. I don't think any sport has more bandwagon fans than mixed martial arts. And I love the fans, don't get me wrong, but it seems a little odd that people are just so quick to jump like on a Johnny Walker and saying he's going to beat John Jones and then to jump off Johnny Walker. McCorkle, thoughts?
I actually agree with you 100%, man. I'm not sold completely on him. I don't know if he's as athletic as people might think he is. I watch him move and watch him fight. He doesn't look like the second coming of John Jones as far as, the way he moves. But you're right about MMA fans are the best and the worst fans in the world. The ones that are great fans are the nicest, most awesome people ever. The bandwagon ones, man, are terrible. Like, I didn't understand. I had no idea the first time I lost how many people were going to hate my guts just because I lost. And it wasn't like I didn't try, like I was like, everybody's like, you suck. Like, thousands of messages. People took time out of their day just to tell me how much I suck. I was like, what am I, Brendan Schaub? But
there it is. I got the pen out. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, that one wasn't even planned. But yeah, they hated me immediately, and they kind of soured me on MMA a little bit. I think Ortega, you saw from his reaction last night, is that he's been here for a year about how he's the worst fighter who's ever fought in the UFC because he caught Max Holloway fighting the fight of his life. But I sent you my bet, man. I told you guys on Ortega that I thought he was going to win, and I made big money that night on Ortega winning by decision, man.
Well, you didn't tell me.
Look at Sean O'Malley.
Yeah,
O'Malley
he looked as good as he's ever looked to me.
Look at O'Malley. He was like a rock star. The guy's ankle gave out, and everyone's like,
right, yeah.
They're like, you suck.
I'm like, he's a pussy.
Like, what the fuck? But he even tweeted out recently, I miss the fans. I'm like, bro, forget the fans. Like, the fans you need are like your wife, your girlfriend, your parents, and a couple friends. Everybody else, like, they're going to come and they're going to go. It's not about how many you get.
Your wife will go. Your wife will go with half your shit.
He leaves with the fans.
Adam, that is one way that stand-up does remind me of fighting in a way. Is I heard Norm Macdonald talking one time, and he said it's funny to him when he bombs. He said because he's up there trying his absolute hardest to make people laugh, to bring him happiness, to make him smile, and when he doesn't do a good job of it, they hate him and want him to die. So it's like when you fight and you lose, you already feel bad about losing, and then you're going to tell people, like, I hope you die tonight. Like, okay, well, I really tried, It's like, I don't know. So
it's crazy. And the thing about it is also, I think MMA fighters, I hate to say it, but when they retire, the shitty part is a lot of fans like don't even reach out to people that are retired. Like the guys, even like the guys like Jens Pulver, you know, like the Gary Goodriches, the guys that actually made the Don. People are just like, all right, what's the next hot fucking thing? I'm like, dude, like Jake Ellenberger, and I think people miss it. I think the fighters miss it, and that's why a lot of reasons these guys stay in the game way too long, because they miss feeling. Because in order to be good at anything, you have to give so much of your life to it, especially a thing like fighting, where you give up on relationships, you give up on money, you give up on friendships, you give up on your family, and then you give all this stuff to it, and then it's gone, and then you feel like you don't even have an identity. And these guys, they need that. And if you don't develop character in an actual life, fuck, man, it could be a lonely road.
That made me cry.
If you could.
Yeah. By the way, Don, did you ever cry as a baby or no?
As a baby?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. I've never been told that. No, so I would have to say no.
Baby Greg Frye.
But I've cried it.
Did you ever cry?
I've cried at a couple of your shows though.
Yeah, me too. So Michael Chandler tweeted out yesterday, "Hey Khabib, I'm going to shock the world." He tweeted this out like at midnight last night. So people know Michael Chandler's on standby for this fight, which is crazy. And now all of a sudden people are worried that maybe what's his name has COVID. There's a rumor that Gaethje might be out. That's what people are saying. I don't think it's true. I'm not spreading any rumors. I'm just telling you that Michael Chandler is scaring people by saying, I'm blessed. Khabib, are you ready? Look, the thing about COVID is it attacks weak immune systems. When you lose a lot of weight, guess what? Your body is fucking weak. And you're not able to fight off this thing, which is why a lot of people get COVID when they're cutting weight. So it's not the craziest, most far-fetched thing to think that something people might pull out. If this happens, does the UFC let people know right away? Do they wait till the day before? When the pay-per-views are already bought? What do you think is going to happen? Sean, predictions.
I don't know. Like if losing weight hurt your immune system, I'd explain why I haven't been sick in 12 years. No, I don't know, man. I would say I thought last night I thought they were about to announce something the way people were talking on Twitter, like it was a done deal, and I was like, man, of course, that fight had to get ruined. But it's maybe it's just wishful thinking on Chandler's part. But I think Chandler's kind of guy he could beat. I wouldn't say he would, but he could beat either of them, man. He's to step into either of them. Chandler's got that one punch. He's like Gaethje a little bit, that one punch knockout power. But I did hear that the COVID caught Don Frye and was scared to death also.
Would you still be excited for Chandler versus Khabib, Greg Wilson?
Yeah, I mean, I would, because you get to see Khabib. And I got to tell you, I was worried about this fight because I'm watching promos on ESPN, and they were promoting the Cannonier, what's his name? Fight. Whitaker, as if that was the main fight. And I was like, oh my God, did it get canceled? And I immediately got online and started checking to see if it was still on the Gaethje thing, because they were acting like that had been promoted up to the main event in these promos they were running over the weekend. So now that you're saying this, it's like, I wonder if that's why they were trying to sell that undercard so hard. I didn't even understand why they would even make that promo.
Well, what is Chandler doing? Is he just trying to fuck with people? If I'm the UFC, I'm telling Chandler to stop tweeting.
I think he's trying to grab some spotlight. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. Frye, your thoughts?
He's doing exactly what I would do in his position, to try to make it about me.
Yeah.
Don Frye, thoughts?
Or Brendan Schaub.
Well, I think it'd be smart, finally, on the UFC's part, to have somebody in the wings, because that's where they've been fucking up for years, is they don't pay anybody to get in shape and stay in shape in case somebody falls out. So they've been treating the fans like shit by not having a safety valve, and now they might have got smart and have that, getting that done.
Well, we're even having to do that in Hollywood. A buddy of mine, he didn't book a commercial, but they hired him anyway to be a backup in case the other guy tested positive on the day of the shoot. So he got paid a day rate, to just be there. So it seems like that's kind of what everybody's going to need to do.
Weendawg?
You say he got date raped?
No.
No,
Rape.
you said he got date raped. Is that what
Date
you
rape.
That is
Oh,
not.
right.
I understand that that's what you heard. I
I
understand that's what your ears heard, but no. Day rate. Day rate.
Weendawg.
Well, for me personally, I would be highly devastated if Gaethje tested positive. It'd be reminiscent to when Al Quinta stepped in. Like, we all really kind of knew the outcome, even though we try to hype up Al as much as possible, saying he's an amazing wrestler. I'd still be devastated. We'd all kind of know the outcome of the fight. And as of right now, that's what is exciting about this fight between Justin and Khabib is like a lot of people are behind Gaethje saying that he has what it takes. He has the wrestling to defend against Khabib, and he has the knockout power to put him out really quickly. But I think, like, don't you think the UFC, if they were smart, if they're actually good business people, they would infect every fighter who is not currently scheduled to fight with COVID so that they're immune from it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just so they don't test positive and drop out of a fight in the future. Just anyone who's not fighting right now, just get COVID. We're going to send the golden snitch, whatever his name is, Jeff Novinsky, to your house. Is going to give you COVID. So now when you schedule for a fight, we know that you won't test positive. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
It's not a good idea, but it's not a bad idea either. You're going to find out who has underlying conditions real fast.
Exactly. So Conor versus Poirier. Now they're saying it's going to be at 170. Khabib says, no, this is bullshit. You can't be the number one contender at my weight class if you don't fight at my weight. People are saying that they think Conor has an advantage at 170 because he's the bigger guy anyway. He's not going to cut weight. It seems like Poirier's a smaller guy, although that might not be the case. I don't know what they walk around at. But
Really?
I still think that it should be at 55 because that's if they're going to be at number one. I think Khabib's got a point there. McCorkle?
Yeah, man, I wish they would add, I've always said, man, I wish they would add one more weight class. I wish they would go 55 to 65, move 70 to 75, move 85 up to 90, maybe do something like that, and just add one weight class but move them all around a little bit. I don't think it necessarily hurts you to fight in a weight class above because you're staying busy and fighting. But if you're trying to determine number one contender, it doesn't really make sense to fight at 170 to do it if it's at 155. But back to what you were talking about, I can't believe they're just now figuring out to have a backup fighter. Think about how many cards were ruined because the main event fell out when they were doing weak cards. And like most of the time you would be happy to see either guy fight. So like all the times that Khabib or Ferguson like fell out, what if they had, not necessarily Conor, but what if they had a guy like Chandler, somebody else ready to go? Like it would have been just as exciting instead of just canceling that fight. And all you got to do is put them on the same card fighting somebody else. You know what I mean? And then just hope that Kimbo doesn't get knocked out by Seth Petroselli, like a situation like that, But that's I don't understand why they haven't had that. Even when Kimbo fought, why the hell, when he was with Pro Elite, did they not always have a backup that he could beat,
Well, because they couldn't find guys he could beat.
Yeah, that was right. They were running out of bouncers.
Rest in peace, Kimbo. Now, who do you think wins at 170? You think Conor has the advantage at 170 versus 55 against Poirier?
I think Conor beats Poirier just because the first time, man, I thought Poirier was going to win the first time. Poirier has improved dramatically since then. But I think Conor, just anyone that's going to strictly stand up with him, I think they're going to lose. Like I think that's Conor's, that's his wheelhouse, man, and I think he beats anybody in MMA at his weight class that wants to strictly stand. So,
Don?
Yeah, I'll go with McGregor. I think he's got the advantage, but I come from the old school, where there's no weight classes and no rules. I mean, shit, if you're gonna fight, just fucking fight.
Now, back in the day,
I believe that's called high school.
Now, back in the day, like Mark Kerr would open up a cut and then put his thumb in the cut to get the guy to tap. Was that something that you guys were practicing?
Nothing I ever practiced, no.
What about headbutts?
I think Kerr. No, how the fuck do you practice headbutts? You have to do it. The only way to practice headbutts is with medicine ball or one of those throwing dummies,
Yeah.
And that we did that shit.
You did that. So you guys would headbutt the medicine ball?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, would someone just throw it at your head? Or I got to figure out exactly how this works. Like, I'm trying to visualize it in my mind. And I'm like, because the medicine ball's on the ground. So would you, like, lean over it and do or would someone just throw it at your face? I don't understand. How did the headbutt with the medicine ball work?
The guy would get on his back, you know, and you get in the guard position on him, and then he'd put the ball in his chest. So that way you maintain, try and maintain your balance and control him, but then be able to hit the headbutts.
It's kind of like you were blowing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I heard Brendan Schaub did some revolutionary positions out of he did a lot of revolutionary work in that area. Hey, I've got a question for Don. Don, what was your best fighting weight? Like, what did you feel best at?
Probably about 217, I think, you know?
Yeah. And then, Don,
about
don't you feel like you
three-
had advantage over heavyweights even? What's that?
Yours, what,
Do
317?
you feel like you had at 217, you had an advantage over guys at heavyweight or not? Did you, like, feel like being lean like that and smaller that you were had better cardio, or do you wish you were bigger?
No, that was just a good weight in proportion that, you know, gave me the strength that I needed and the size advantage, and also had the speed and the conditioning. You know, I felt when I got a little bit more heavier than that, the conditioning wasn't there. You know, I was lagging a bit.
All right, so Don Frye, Greg Wilson, Sean McCorkle, take a break for a second. Joe, I got to talk to you.
What's up?
Last week's in the books. It's gone. But now is the time to review the tape and prepare for this week. There is no better place to get in on all the action than with DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. To add to this week's excitement, DraftKings has a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs. How cool is that? And if you haven't tried DraftKings yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. Draft your lineup and feel the sweat like never before. Every run, pass, and catch means more with DraftKings. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, it's underneath the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds to the excitement of watching the game quite like having a shot at millions of dollars in prizes. And for everyone who's looking forward to this week's UFC 254, which is us, okay, be sure to check out DraftKings MMA contest. How cool is that? UFC 254 with DraftKings. Here's your call to action. Download the DraftKings app now and use code ROASTED. For a limited time, new users can get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes this week. Don't miss out on the Week 7 action, okay? Enter code ROASTED. They get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. That's code ROASTED, only at DraftKings. Make it rain. There's a minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Check it out. All right, Sean, Greg, and Don, come on back. Now, when you fought that huge Asian guy, did he even weigh in or no?
Which one?
The sumo wrestler. What was his name? The huge Yoko.
Akibono.
Yeah, Akibono. Did he even weigh in?
You know, shit. Nah, nobody weighed in back then. Hell, it was heroes. Like I said, they just took your word. He just took your word for it.
He weighed in, but that was when the cargo transport, they had to check the manifest as they moved him into the arena. So that was the weigh-in for him, to see if the cargo was in fact what they said it was.
All right, so back to some
down to the ship.
Back to some MMA news. So Tisha Torres is fighting Angela Hill. Tisha, her last fight, I think everything came together. She looked like a psychopath, just throwing. It was like a video game. It was awesome. And Angela Hill has fought like 19 times this year. I don't even think she's got her 7th fight. That's a good fight. That's a really good fight. Excited about that one. Also, Jessica I is fighting Joanne Calderwood, and these two hate each other. I mean, I think trains over at Extreme Couture. Joanne fights a Syndicate, her boyfriend is John Wood, and they've had beef for a while. So this is gonna be very personal, which is always good. It's always good when like two hot girls fight who also hate each other.
I feel like we're using hot a little loose there, but okay.
Dude, I've seen them both dressed up. I've seen them both dressed up. They're hot. Trust me on this one. Both of them are hot. Trust me.
I have a theory about that. People always talk about how hot Danica Kirkpatrick was, and I was like, well, yeah, compared to Mario Andretti, she is. You know what I mean? But, like, if you're like for an Indy 500 driver, yeah. But I mean, or they're like, who were they saying they always say was hot on TV? Oh gosh, it was another athlete of some kind. I don't know. I just always found it amazing. Like when they're like, she's hot. Well, if you're comparing her only to that, yeah. So
yeah. Well, it's like some of the Fox News anchors. You mean?
Oh no, they're hot. They're legit. They're legit smoke shows.
Dude, Megyn Kelly is hot as shit. I don't care what he says. Megyn Kelly is a fucking smoke show. She has a bunch of kids too. By the way, Bellator had an event. The worst.
No, they didn't.
The worst pacing event of all time. Dude, they would have fights, then they would go to these promos, right? But it wasn't even like it was people just talking like, "What's your favorite food?" or "Do you like knitting?" or "What do you think about celebrity?" It was like asking Tech Congo what he thinks about celebrities that do MMA. And some of the fighters they were interviewing aren't even in Bellator anymore. Like they talked like Dave Rickles has been out of the company for like months. I'm like, what?
They don't know they're not in Bellator.
Yeah. Like they don't even
Bellator fighters don't know they're not fighting for Bellator.
I'm not even kidding. They were interviewing people that are not even in the company anymore. And it's the same promos they use for they don't even update the promos. It's the same one they use for Tuesday or the one before that. And then they would just go to the fight. It was almost like it was crazy. I'm like, are they trying to get people to not watch this? They had no time frame as like when the fights were going to happen. And then they had, what's her name? So Cyborg just crushed that girl. It wasn't even competitive. I mean, at least have like Paige Van Zandt like bouncing on a trampoline or something that'll fucking have my attention because it was ridiculous. Paul Steve won, my friend Steve Mowry. And there's this Jewish guy, Aviv Gozali, who's amazing at grappling. And his father, they called him, I think, like the Hebrew Batman. His father was also, or the Israel Batman. Yeah, like his father was also a fighter from Israel. So, and then there was a fight where, can we play this, Joe? There was a fight where this guy, Kemram Lachinov, who I thought lost the fight actually, but he beat Kyle Crutchmer, who was a 4-time All-American. At one point, he was just telling him to punch him in the face. He put his hands down and just was like, punch me in the face.
Do you have the link that you can put in the chat? Because I'm going to have a very hard time.
If you go to MMA Roasted, I actually put the link up. I put like when the cocaine puts in.
Oh, on Twitter?
Yeah, it's on my Twitter. Okay. Because, I think this is a pretty bad strategy of letting some guy punch you in the face. I know that, like, Diego, there was a guy named, it was a boxer, Mayorga, used to do it. And people said it was an old boxing trick where you could roll with the punches so you actually see the punch coming. It doesn't hurt you. And they tried it against Felix Trinidad and got fucking rocked. Don, have you ever let a guy punch you in the face during a fight?
Not on purpose, no.
What about you punching a guy in the face on purpose? Anybody ever drop their hands and say, punch me?
Yeah, Gary Goodrich did that to me in our second fight. Like that. So I just whacked him with the jab. He didn't do it again.
That was enough. One was enough, huh?
So what about you?
Yeah.
You ever have a guy, Sean, that Sean, you ever have a guy let you punch him in the face, or you ever punch a guy in the face?
No, my stand-up was so bad. If I hit him in the face, it was on accident, so I usually apologize. But sorry, I was trying to hit you in the body there. But no, it's I don't know. I did see a guy, Kyle Gibbons. I don't know if he ever fought in the UFC. He's a buddy of mine, but he got close to the UFC. I did see a fight one time where the guy got punched and he smiled, stuck his chin out, like, yeah, he wanted some more. So he stuck his chin out, and Kyle hit him again and knocked him straight out. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Like the guy stuck his chin out to get some more and just got straight knocked out. It's you don't always tell when someone's losing a fight when they're smiling when they're getting hit. Like that doesn't intimidate anybody. That just lets people know you just got hurt. You know, like that's how you can tell they're losing a fight. If they smile and laugh, or that they're not at a Brendan Schaub comedy show. If they're smiling and laughing.
There it is.
I have the video.
Now, are they okay? So this is what happened. This was like the most entertaining part of the fight. Watch this. So this guy just puts his hands down and just says punch him, and then he says punch him again.
That's awesome.
It looked like he got like hurt right there too.
He is tucking his chin though, so I mean he expects to defend it somehow.
All right. That's pretty much what happened. So I mean, now a guy does that to you, McCorkle. What do? You just crack
shoot for a takedown immediately.
Really?
I would. I'd punch him in his face. That's pretty disrespectful, I think, man. To stand there and just look at somebody, but and do that. Yeah, nobody smart's going to do it very much. I think people have watched Rocky too many times, man. Like that whole theory of let him beat up his hands with your face is a terrible idea.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you say that when somebody hits you and you smile, they know that you're hurt. What does it mean when you start crying? Because that would be my reaction. And I would hope that maybe then they'd be like, oh, we got to leave this guy alone. He's really emotional right now.
We'd have to ask CM Punk.
I got slapped in high school by a girl.
Yeah, no, I don't know. If you start crying, maybe you're winning. That's weird.
Dude, there was a girl that –
I got to tell you, that's probably what I would try.
I mean, now you have a theory, Sean, that Rocky raped Adrian, right?
What?
No, he did, man. If you go back and watch that movie – number one, Adrian is obviously slow. You know what I mean? If you watch it, like she's a slow kid to begin with, and then she's doing everything she can. Like, hey, can I call my brother? And he's like, just yells out the window, "Hey, Paulie, she's with me." And then she's trying everything she can to get away. Like, I don't feel comfortable. And he was like being a little too aggressive with her. And then funny thing about Rocky is, you remember the mobster guy was like telling Rocky that retards love the zoo.
That was the other knuckle breaker.
Right? Yeah, the guy's like, he's like, take her to the zoo. Retards love the zoo, and he got mad. And then in Rocky 2, when she comes out of the coma and he wants to propose to her, he takes her to the zoo and proposes to her, and it works. Like, what are the chances that would work, man? But,
these are some interesting little notes you picked out of there. I never really saw it that way, but the 70s were wild.
Go back and watch those movies. It's something, man.
Yeah, no, he did kind of corner her.
He took her straight to the zoo.
He cornered her in the house, and she was like, he wouldn't let her leave.
Yeah,
he's a
she tried everything to leave, and he was like, I put that on Facebook. I was like, am I the only one that noticed that Rocky Balboa more or less date raped the slow chick from the pet shop, and everybody got outraged. But I mean, Rocky's one that date raped her, not me. So.
Dude, then Mr. T killed his coach. Like he like murdered his coach before the fight.
Just murdered him. Yeah. Well, how about when Rocky doesn't throw the towel? The ref tries to stop the fight with Apollo Creed, the Russian. The Russian pushes the ref off, murders Apollo Creed, and then it's Rocky's fault for not throwing the towel. Like he would have stopped if only he'd thrown the towel. Like the ref tried to stop it, he pushed him off.
Right? Yeah, he threw him across the ring. Like
yeah, and still kept hitting.
And he would have been like, "Oh, there's the towel. He threw white towel. I must stop now."
I like how
have you noticed Rocky 5? That whole movie? The most realistic part of fighting of any Rocky movie is that how his girlfriend was always against him, no matter okay, he wants to fight in Rocky 1, she's against it. He wants to fight in Rocky 2, she's against it. Yep. He doesn't want to fight Mr. T in Rocky 3, and she's like, why are you so afraid? Like she wants him to fight in Rocky 3. He fights in Rocky 3. Then she doesn't want him to fight in Rocky 4. She doesn't want Apollo to fight in Rocky 4. Then she changes her mind in Rocky 4 and tells him he has to fight, or whatever. Like it's just back and forth. It's like whatever he wants, she's completely against, no matter what. It's like the most realistic part of any fighting movie. When it comes to that, like your girlfriend is always against you. Not mine, of course.
Not only that, but then in Rocky 4, like Paulie fucked the robot. Like
right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He was definitely getting HJs from the robot without question.
Yeah, and nobody it's just missing in Rocky 5, and no one brought it up. Like he obviously killed that robot, murdered it and buried it somewhere, and no one ever.
And then Rocky 5, Tommy Gunn is in it. The whole thing happens.
It's the worst movie of all time.
They just ignore it. Like in Rocky 6, they just don't even have it part of the montage. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Never
Like
even
it's never happened. Yeah. That's something else, man. It's that movie series is awesome. I'll tell you what I've been watching at least 3 times a week recently is Roadhouse. That movie never gets old, man. It's been run on Showtime this week or this month.
Yeah.
That movie is amazing. That
I gotta say, that's pretty on brand for you. That seems right. Rocky, it's date rape. It's horrible. There's no relationships. Now, Roadhouse. Now, I watched that 6 times in a row. That's just filled with great life.
Brad Wesley is my hero. If you watch that movie, The Bad Guy, Brad Wesley is amazing.
How did Patrick Swayze all of a sudden become a badass fighter? He was like a ballerina, and then he just fucks everyone up in Roadhouse.
Well, I think you heard in The Outsiders he fought in that Rumble. The Outsiders.
George St. Pierre.
George St. Pierre.
What about Khabib saying he wants to fight St. Pierre next?
Well, he's got to beat Gaethje first, you know.
Yeah, but he's come out and said that like the only other fight that interests him after Gaethje is George St. Pierre, which makes no sense to me.
So
yeah,
he's like after this, I want to go into the retirement division.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's probably got some girlfriend like Adrian fucking with his head all the time. Like, fight, don't fight, Mr. T. No, you're a loser.
That's Platinum Mike Perry.
Dude, but first of all, Mike Perry, his ex-wife, came out today, is saying some horrible things about domestic violence and Mike Perry. So Mike Perry might be gone for a while. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know what happened. I'm just saying it's not good press for Mike Perry.
Nobody does, but we're supposed to take the word of a fucking ultra crazy bitch, you know? She's mad at her boyfriend. Fuck.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but that's Don Frye's take. Okay, so
let's just carefully label that one the Don Frye's corner.
Don Frye.
It is odd that they seem to be most affected by it right when you're at your peak.
Dude, if I had all the money in the world, I would start a Don Frye judge show where people come in and tell Don Frye their problems.
Dude, yes.
And then Don Frye is like, it's like instead of Judge Judy, Judge Frye. Come on, tell me that wouldn't be tell me you wouldn't watch Judge Frye. Greg?
Oh my God, this is the best idea you've ever had. We got to call it, what do we call it? Like fried justice.
Fried. I
don't even think you need that much money. You could probably do it via Zoom. You have
call it deep fried.
Are people having
fried?
You gotta get better Wi-Fi. That's the thing. We have to get better. That would be the biggest thing is the Wi-Fi factor.
That would be the biggest investment in the show. Would be upping his Wi-Fi.
But tell me, McCorkle, you wouldn't watch Judge Frye?
Absolutely, man. It's I have a feeling that most men on there would just get told to quit being pussies. Probably like that would be the ruling of every case.
And that's what would make it must-see television.
A guy comes in, he's like shot in the leg. He literally has like fucking blood like coming from his leg. You fucking back in my day, we shoot ourselves.
Hey, here's what you do: you take that wheelchair and you throw it off the back of a truck. And then you'll learn to walk again. Anytime you want a Gatorade.
They'd be like Judge Frye, when you rule, you have to pound the gavel on the desk, and he would be like, gravel? I've been eating gravel all day. What are you talking about?
He would just take the mallet and hit himself in the head with it. He'd be like, oh, they're in the court. And just fucking, you'd hear like, boom.
He would hit the person, whoever doesn't get he'd hit them both of them. Hey, that's my ruling. You're dismissed. That's how you get dismissed.
You're out.
What do you think, Judge Weendawg? You think we got something here, Judge Frye?
No, I think this is gold. Either the judge thing or like a Dog the Bounty Hunter type show, or Gordon Ramsay where he goes and helps like beta males turn into alpha males. You know what I'm saying? Like he takes them out into the woods and teaches them how to do manly shit, like cut down trees
Southern
and
fried.
eat the bark. Yeah.
By the way, I know this is going to go really well. 50 Cent just endorsed Trump yesterday. He goes, I don't care that he doesn't like black people. He says Joe Biden's tax plan is fucking horrible because I guess he makes over $400,000 a year and it lives in California. He's being taxed 50% or something. He goes, Donald Trump all the way. Weendawg, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, not just 50 Cent. You also have Ice-T coming out because Ice-T wanted to.
Ice Cube.
Oh yeah, sorry, Ice Cube. I'm so sorry. But those two guys are getting so much hate now, dude.
Apologize to Ice-T.
I'm sorry, Ice-T. I meant to say Ice Cube. I'm very, very sorry. I'm sure it's not the first time in history those two names got mixed up. But
Apologize to Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, right.
but I don't know. It is what it is.
I mean, they make a good point. We do overtax the rich. I mean, we put them in a position of having to seek out all these loopholes and tax shelters and everything instead of just actually having a reasonable tax rate and getting them to pay it.
Or a flat tax.
I mean, wouldn't you rather an inescapable tax rate of like 12% instead of an outrageous tax rate of 37 to 50%?
And
that drives them to try and hide their money.
That number of 400,000 is so dumb. So if I make 398,000, I don't have to pay it. If I make 401,000, I got to pay it.
Well, you're still going to have to pay something. I mean, it's not like you're off to scot-free
but it's just
up
like,
to 400,000. But there does have to be a threshold. I mean, there is for all the tax brackets. So.
I just think a flat tax.
It sounds like a case that needs to be settled in front of Judge Frye.
All right, so Judge Frye.
Yes, Southern Fried.
What should people be taxed?
Is a 25% sales tax on everything, and we'll get rid of the income tax. Everybody pays something.
All right. Okay.
Boom.
All right.
That is one way to do it. That is one way to do it.
All right. Judge Frye. What are some other Weendawg?
Judge Frye is Tyrone.
How should they?
Should we pack the courts? I don't know.
They already did. How should they divide the assets in a divorce regardless? Judge Frye.
Well, let's see. They should kick the dirty bitch to the curb and let her be naked and shit on the guy who has earned all the money.
All right, we just lost most of our.
You know, these fucking women, all they bring in is a big guy. That's all they bring in a relationship, and then they leave with fucking, 70% of the guy's property, and he's left a cripple.
I'd like to withdraw my question from the court.
Should you be allowed to transition as an 8-year-old from a male to a female or a female to a male?
Oh, God.
That's insane. That is fucking insane. 8 years old, your biggest fucking worry is your bicycle. If you should fucking put a card in the spokes of it, make it sound like a motorcycle or something. You don't get to choose your fucking sex. That's ridiculous.
I'm with him on that. I think it's too young. I'm with Don Frye on that. I think it's too young. Obviously, I support transgenders, but 8 years old is beyond young. McCorkle, any thoughts for Judge Frye?
Yeah, I want to know if Judge Frye believes that Tyrone is or is not the father. I don't know.
No, it's Rocky because Rocky raped.
Rocky's the father because Rocky raped him. Got it.
Rocky didn't. Yeah, Rocky not only raped Adrian, but he raped half the women. Half the women in the hood too.
Judge Frye, what do you think about Hunter Biden?
He's a serial rapist.
What do you think about Hunter Biden, Judge Frye?
I think Hunter Biden's a piece of shit, man. The thing is, that's exactly, we got to get rid of people like Biden. Biden and Pelosi are exactly what got Trump elected to get rid of, and that's why they've been trying to get rid of Trump, because they're running scared, and the American voters are tired of this bullshit. We've been getting robbed by these fuckers. All the money that's been going on, 98% of our bridges are failing. Where's the money been going? Where's the money been going?
Judge Frye makes some great points. Aside from the female bitches thing, we got to run that part. But
I think we may want to cut that out of the show. I think we maybe just snippity snip.
We're not censoring.
I'm curious what Judge Frye thinks about this whole Russian disinformation campaign that made Hunter Biden smoke crack. Like, how did Russia pull that off?
That forced him, yeah. You can see the Russian mob behind the camera holding a couple of Uzis on him, forcing him to do that.
Yeah.
Judge Frye, should
This
people
is
wear
against
masks?
the bill.
Judge Frye, should people wear masks?
Fuck no, they don't do any good. They've proven that, you know, that the masks aren't small enough to filter out the germ. The germ goes right through it. It's been shown it's stupid.
Go straight through it and get stopped by Don Frye's mustache. That's what I heard.
Well, listen, if anyone wants to invest in Judge Frye, let me know. We're going to make this happen. Greg, will you?
Let me tell you something. The GoFundMe for this pilot is going to beat the shit out of Pinned.
100%.
I mean, the money's going to flow in for this.
Greg, will you help produce this Judge Frye show?
Absolutely. I will. I want in on the ground floor on this one because Southern Fried is going to be the show of 2021.
Sean, are you going to be in on this Judge Frye?
Absolutely. I'll actually start I'll put the first $1,000 up for Judge Frye.
Wow. I think that might be the last 1,000, but still.
Sean's going to be the bailiff, dude.
Weendawg, are you going to help make it happen?
Dude, 100%. Dude, this is actually like a gold mine show. We just got to make sure there's no other Don Frye impersonators out there who's going to steal this idea from us.
The only ones already on this show.
That is true.
The only Don Frye impersonator is producing the damn thing.
I don't think I've laughed this hard in a while. Oh, good. I like it. Well, listen, I don't know what you guys have learned, but thank you for tuning into the show today. Greg, what do you got coming up?
Wait a minute. Aren't we going to make our picks for the Gaethje fight before we go?
Okay, let's make – all right. Gaethje, Khabib. Who do we like?
For me, I'm going Khabib all day.
Judge Frye?
I want Gaethje to win. I really do, you know, for America. Because he's toughest guy in this trailer park, but I got to go with the commie, you know. Shit.
I'm not really sure he's a commie, but is Dagestan a communist country?
Isn't it part of Russia? And by the way, does everyone from Dagestan have Easter Island head? It's unbelievable.
Yes,
they all
do.
look that way.
Same hairline, same eyebrows.
How many? First of all, they're all born with beards and cauliflower ear. But they like how many Nurmagomedovs? Like it seems like he has like 30 cousins and they're all champions.
Yeah, it's like Williams. It's like everybody out there is Nurmagomedov. Because there was one fighting this last weekend that they're like no relation, just also Nurmagomedov.
Oh, like and that guy's a monster too.
Yeah, he looked
Sean,
good.
Your pick for this week?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It actually does remind me of Rocky IV. Like, if you think about it, you got, like, the undefeatable Russian. Just Gaethje needs to have a black friend that dies and date rape a slow girl, and we'll be set. That got way weirder than I meant for it to be going into the joke. No, I think Gaethje's going to beat him, man. Khabib's my favorite fighter, aside from Don Frye. But I think Gaethje's going to catch him, stand up, and knock him out, man. I really do.
Weendawg.
Well, as of right now, I'm still picking Khabib, but as we get closer to the fight, I'm slowly tilting towards Justin Gaethje, dude. There's something about him. You know, I think he's going to be able to pull it off, but right now I'm still standing by Khabib the Eagle.
I'm going with Khabib. I think that my emotion and my heart is going with Gaethje, and that loses almost every time.
Yeah.
And the more videos I watch, the more I'm going to be swayed towards Justin Gaethje.
Exactly.
But then as soon as the fight starts, I'm going to go, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking when I first heard of it. I just think that Gaethje makes too many mistakes, and Khabib doesn't. He doesn't make any mistakes. Gaethje, he didn't make any mistakes against Ferguson because Ferguson makes more mistakes than he does. But they all get away with it because they're fucking champions of Russian roulette until they're not. So also on the card, Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier.
Damn, dude.
I'm going to go with Whittaker. I think every time Cannonier steps up to the next level, he gets beat.
And isn't Whittaker coming off a loss, like a tough loss?
No, he's coming off a win against Darren Till, but it was close.
I like Whittaker in this one, too.
Whittaker. I'm a Whittaker fan. I pick Whittaker. I think the guy's phenomenal.
Sean?
I say Whittaker, man. I think Whittaker, even though he does get a lot of props, respect, I think he's still one of the most underrated fighters out there, man. I think Whittaker is phenomenal in all aspects of the game. So I think he'll win and easily.
Wow. Well, I'm picking Cannonier by knockout because Whitaker seems to get rocked in every single one of his fights, and I don't think you're going to survive getting rocked by Jared Cannonier.
True.
So you heard that here, folks. Whitaker is a lock.
Walt Harris versus Volkov. Volkov's coming off a loss to what's his name? Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades.
Walt Harris coming off a loss to Overeem. I'm picking Walt Harris in this one. I think that the last fight, it was just too much pressure based on what happened with his daughter and his life, and it was just too much. I think he's going to be more relaxed right now. And Volkov seems another guy that gets to that next level and can't seem to overcome the hump. So I'm going with Walt Harris, Don Frye.
Ivan Volkov is back from WWE.
Yes, Ivan Volkov, and the Iron Sheik as well. All right, so you don't know.
That's going to be great.
Greg Wilson.
I like what Walt Harris. I mean, emotionally, here's the thing. Emotionally, I want to see him have this comeback win and do what people thought he was going to do last time. But anytime I feel that way, that means the other guy's going to win. So Volkov.
McCorkle, are you sleeping? What's going on?
Yeah, no, man, I was up all night last night. I will say, man, Walt Harris. Volkov, ever since he lost in the last minute to Derek Lewis, I think he hasn't been the same. So that was, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think, I say Walt Harris.
Weendawg?
I have Walt Harris by KO. It's interesting because all 13 of his wins are by KO. And these guys are huge guys. Walt Harris is 6'5", and Volkov is 6'7". So I think this is going to be a crazy Godzilla fight.
He beat Arlovsky barely, but that wasn't by knockout.
Well, this is I'm looking at his Sherdog. It says he's 13-0 all by knockout and 8 losses.
Oh, that's weird. Sam Alvey is fighting a guy Daeung Jung. Daeung Jung beat a guy whose name was Hulk. I don't even know.
If you lose as Hulk, you're done.
Like, I mean, how is that allowed? Like, your parents are just going to name you Hulk if your last name is Hulk too? That's so strange. That's like, there used to be this guy in Thailand named 3K Battery. Yeah. Then somebody said it was like the gym that they all went to, 3K Battery, but they couldn't pronounce the names. They just announced him as 3K Battery. But that was back when 3K was the shit. I like Sam Alvey. He's one of these guys that, like, he's so fucking awkward and he wins. He's one of those dudes that, like, it's hard to train for him because it looks like he's in slow motion, but it's effective. Don, you ever fight a guy like that who just awkward but effective?
Yeah, several of them, man. Shit, several of them. But it's like who was the guy from New Mexico? The blonde guy, and then ended up having a goatee and ended up saved his head. Out of New Mexico. Fuck me, shit. I don't know. He was awkward as hell, but he's always fun to watch fight.
Oh, I know you're talking. I know you're talking
Tyler
about.
Durden.
No, he just stood up and swung the entire time.
Keith Jardine.
Nah, for the baby.
Keith Jardine, yeah.
Right, Keith Jardine?
Oh, never mind. No, that's not who I was thinking.
Yeah, Keith Jardine.
Yes. He was
Super
awkward.
Yeah.
He looked like he was having us out there, but it always win.
Yeah, a lot of guys like that. It's hard to, I guess, train against those guys because you got to find a guy in the gym that can emulate that, and it's hard to emulate awkwardness.
Right.
But listen,
Dude, there's a guy fighting whose first name is Magomed.
No.
Yeah.
Put your money on him.
And he looks exactly like a Magomedov. I mean, he's got the Easter Island head and everything.
What is Easter Island head?
A giant
Easter Island head is?
What is that?
You never seen an Easter Island head?
I'll show you.
Show them an Easter Island head.
Is that like what's his name had it at? What's his name? That huge guy that
you're gonna when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, that's an Easter Island head.
Oh yeah, got it.
They all have that head.
What's his name had that? Bigfoot Silva had that.
Yeah.
But he's fighting this guy. Magomed's fighting Kudalaba.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight, right? Because that fight that was stopped early, and then it was one of those fights that should have kept going.
And Lauren Murphy's fighting.
Yeah, Lauren Murphy's the best. But she's supposed to fight the girl who got COVID. The girl is supposed to fight the Mexican girl, the cutie.
That explains why there's a Russian girl in there now with no picture.
Yeah, that's a girl that's who's 8-1, and all her but her wins. She was a champion of Guerrilla Fighting Championship. It's called Guerrilla Fighting.
Cool.
From Brazil.
That's a racist statement. That's a very racist statement.
Hey, if Judge Frye says that's racist, that's bad, man.
Racist.
Greg beat me to my joke. I was going to say, well, if anyone's the judge, it would be Judge Frye.
So, Greg, what do you got coming up?
A whole lot of just watching football and fighting and living my life. But today we released on YouTube and on all my social media part 2 of The Girl Who Died 3 Times, where she talks about demonic possession and what it's like on the other side, et cetera, all this afterlife stuff. This interview just gets crazier and crazier. So if you're into anything about the afterlife, the paranormal, stuff like that, check it out. Check it out on all my social media, The Girl Who Died 3 Times, part 2.
Weendawg, what do you got coming up?
Go subscribe to the Joe Perez Show and follow me on TikTok at the Weendawg.
McCorkle?
I'm just basically still trolling people online. That's all I do all day. But I've recently been arguing with the underwriter for my mortgage on my house because I'm buying a house, and she keeps arguing with me about something, and now she won't admit she's wrong. Like, imagine that, a woman that won't admit she's wrong. But the underwriter, long story, but she won't admit she was wrong about something. And I just keep talking about that every time I email her. I'm like, okay, but are you going to admit you were wrong about that other thing I was right on? It's really funny. I'm like keeping screenshots of it to send to you one day.
Yeah, normally
and we only got in 4 Shab zings today. a little under our league average of 6. So, but a decent. It's really actually almost a 3.5 because one of them was you just kind of slipped it in.
Normally
there was a couple on the Easter Island head that I was going to use a Shab on, but I backed off just a little bit.
Normally, this part is for things that I'm plugging that you could watch. Not like you're like, no one's going to watch you fighting with your fucking mortgage broker.
Oh, that's what you think. Wait till I post post the screenshots online.
But I'm like, what do you have coming up? You're like, I'm fighting with my mortgage broker. Like, what I'm fucking I'm jerking off. Don Frye, what do you got coming up?
I'm still working on putting together my podcast. It's looking at coming to theaters near you in January.
Nice. Your podcast is coming to theaters.
So I was gonna say, and that's exactly how podcasts work.
I think Don's working on his new Judge show. That's what I think he should be doing.
Yeah, no, that's what we are working on. 100%.
I gotta go out there and I gotta scour the highways for a wheelchair.
So Friday night, I'm doing a show at Flappers Comedy Club. If you want to come, I have 10 people can actually come. Or you can also watch it online. I'm going to post the link. It's $10 to watch the entire set. So that Thursday night, I have a show in Venice at an undisclosed location. If you live near Venice, California, hit me up. And then Saturday
are they going to be broadcasting Bellator at that same undisclosed location?
Nobody knows. Not even Bellator.
Saturday night, I'm actually I'm commenting on a boxing match and a pro wrestling event live in San Diego.
Awesome.
You can watch it at Fist Combat TV. At Fist Combat TV, Mikey Gordon, who's a comedian, is fighting Chris Espinoza, who are 2 mediocre comics actually fighting to see who's not the worst. They're going to be boxing each other on Fist Combat TV. Definitely tune in. So that's that.
And one last thing. Congratulations to Lopez. Latino Power! Andale! The winner of 4 belts on Saturday night. That was pretty amazing.
That was pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week. Take care.
Take care, man.
Thanks.